I'm really excited to
Good
see
morning, everyone. How's everybody doing?
it.
Awesome. It's just getting everybody out the door to school time here. So if you see movement behind, that's what's going on.
Lovely. It's actually 6 o'clock in the evening here in Norway.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think it's a 9-hour time difference.
Yeah, it's 9 a.m. on the West Coast, and every other Thursday, our middle school doesn't start till just after 9 because the teachers get time to collaborate together on curriculum.
Oh,
And
that's
we get extra kid time in the morning, which is awesome.
Fair
But
enough.
yeah,
it's
So-
noon here in Toronto right now.
amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I will start by introducing Lisa. I met Lisa because we both work together with 3C, and she taught me so many things about Instagram. She is so smart about this stuff. She's the author of a course, which is really very good, and I took it as a beta tester, and I learned so many things that helped me with my own Instagram account. I'm also an influencer myself. So her influence has been really helpful to me in terms of learning how to best build my channels and learn how to target my content better for my audience. So you're definitely in for a treat. She knows her stuff. And I would love to turn it over to her.
Thank you so much for saying that. That's really sweet.
Well, it's very true.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, so like as mentioned, my name is Lisa. I'm from Norway. So my accent is a bit all over the place, mainly, yeah. So I run, as Ali mentioned, I run my own Instagram account as an influencer. I also do social media management with 3C, and I have a course on Instagram, on growing your Instagram channel. So I've kind of taken some of like the main points from the course and like what I've learned through the years on Instagram and running Instagram accounts for others as well. So I'll be going through some of like the main areas and aspects that I think are important in order to grow your Instagram. And then I also think that if you guys have any questions at all, just ask and then I'll answer those as well. Okay. So basically what I think is like the main aspects to Instagram growth is there's 5 areas that I kind of always focus on, and that whether there's like brand new students to Instagram, someone who hasn't really been doing it, or whether you've been doing it for a while, there's like 5 focus areas. It's your profile, obviously, and your feed, your target audience or your audience, and your hashtags, and then your actions, or which is also called engagement. That's like the holy grail of Instagram, isn't it? So your profile and your feed, I won't spend too much talking about, but do ask questions if you have any. Basically, nailing your profile, make sure it tells people what they're going to get from your account, and then make sure that your feed matches that. So if you're a dog blogger, you would share photos of your dog, living with a dog, of your favorite products for dogs. You wouldn't all of a sudden then share a photo of your lunch that day, because that would throw people off. So that's just kind of staying consistent with your theme. However, if you're a personal influencer, then sharing a photo of your lunch one day would not be a problem. So don't like take what I say too literally, but it's more like, once you've found your niche, your theme, what you're trying to put out there, do stick to that, because that is very important, because otherwise you're going to confuse anyone who's coming into your account wondering whether they should follow you or not, because it has to be very clear to them, oh, this is a dog account, great, I love dogs, I want to follow that. But if there's like random lunch shots and then there's a selfie, they might not care about that. So just like make sure that you're sticking to whatever you've decided to focus on Instagram. And that will make it a lot clearer for anyone considering to follow you. And then, of course, getting people to look at your profile in the first place is what I'm gonna cover that too. So that was like your feed and your profile. Your target audience is the third kind of point to it, also something that I feel is very important, because I think so many people spend so much time Googling how to grow on Instagram, how to get more Instagram followers, how to increase my engagement. And then they're learning all these different strategies for growth and all that. But then they're not really targeting that on the right audience. They're just there, you know? So your target audience, if you have a company, if you have whether it's a small business as an influencer or whether you have a company that's already established, you will have a target audience, right? You might have a target, whether you have a target of one person that represents your target audience, or whether there's a group of people, you will know, right? If you're targeting women in their 20s, whether you're targeting mothers, whether you're targeting couples who are traveling, right? Yeah, so you already know your target audience when you have a business. This is like huge. I think most businesses start out by being told, like, you need to find your target audience. You need to know who you're trying to reach. That is also gold on Instagram. And that's something that a lot of people, I think, fail to do in the beginning. So what you need to do then is think about your target audience, who they are. I'm sure you know their age. I'm sure you know their language. I'm sure you know what they're interested in, which is like kind of key. Once you've thought of these things, especially their interests, start searching Instagram for these interests. So let's say your target audience is in their 20s. They are women, mainly women, also men, but mainly women in their 20s who love to travel. So this is my target audience kind of. I went on Instagram and I searched for the interests of these women. So that is things like travel inspiration, right? They would want to follow accounts for travel inspiration. They would want to follow accounts that cover kind of how to become a blogger, because maybe that's something they're interested about. So I searched Instagram for travel inspiration. And then I looked through the accounts that showed up. Those accounts, I picked out 5 accounts, and this is something that I think you guys should also do if you haven't already. I picked out 5 accounts from the accounts that I found when searching for these interests and looked through them. If this account looked like something that my target audience would follow, so it could be that their feed is like kind of like right down your street, looks like this is something that we would love to kind of do. This could even be our company, you know. Then keep that account, and then do that with all until you have 5 accounts that you're sure that your target audience would follow. So if this, 25-year-old girl who loves to travel but maybe only has time to travel on the weekends, if I'm sure that she would follow this account, then I'm adding that account to my hit list or my list of complementary accounts, or whatever word you want to use. So once you have these 5 accounts, the people who follow them, that's your target audience on Instagram. I love your reaction. Yeah, so that's kind of like how you find your target audience on Instagram. That's how you narrow down your efforts as well, because there's all these articles telling you to just go through and comment on a bunch of stuff and then people will follow you, but they won't if they're not interested in what you're already putting out there. But these people are already interested because they're your target audience. They're already following similar accounts, so you know they're interested in travel or parenting. So does that make sense? Am I explaining that all right?
So once you know, hi, it's Meg. Once you know who their followers are, do you do anything with their followers, or you're just kind of seeing, okay, yes, or you're just seeing their accounts?
Yeah, no, I'm going to get to that as well. Okay. We are definitely. So the point of this is to have your hit list. I call it a hit list. I hope you don't think that sounds negative. It's just like, and you can change the hit list, change it out. If you're feeling as if like you're not getting results from your efforts, I'm also going to talk about what you're actually going to be doing. But it's just like important to know that like everything you're going to be doing on Instagram from now on is going to be focused on the followers of these 5 accounts.
Hmm.
And that is only because we know that these people are already interested in what you're putting out there. So that's why it's important to spend some time looking for these 5 kind of similar accounts. I call them complementary because they're not like, I wouldn't call them competitors because we're not stealing their audience. We're kind of like, okay, you're putting out similar stuff to me, love what you're doing, I'm going to be doing the same. So I'm sure if this person who is 25 happens to be a woman who loves to travel, she's going to love what I'm putting out there too. So that's kind of like finding and like nailing down your target audience. That's super important on Instagram, because otherwise you may be following all this advice and reading all these articles on how to grow and be doing like you're doing everything that everyone is telling you to do. But if you're just doing that with like a bunch of random people on Instagram, you might get like 2 people following you back out of 10. But if you do it with this targeted, these people who you already know are interested in what you're doing, you might get 6 people following you back, you know? Okay, so then I'm going to talk about what we're actually going to be doing with these people to get them to follow us, and then of course engage with our stuff. So you might know this already, you might not. The main kind of way to grow on Instagram is obviously engagement, but then again, like what does that mean? You know, because that's the reason I created my course in the end as well, was I was tired of hearing, oh, you just have to engage and you just have to do this. It's super easy. And then it's like, yeah, but how? And then what do I actually do? Like how? So basically what I would do whenever I had the time, this was when I was starting out, I grew my account, Fjords and Beaches, is now at around 33,000 followers, I think.
Wow.
And yeah, thank you. And that was, getting to 6,000 was a struggle. I was so over it. Then I decided to sit down and kind of like figure all this out, like these 5 aspects, like what is it, like I put together everything I'd learned. I struggled. It took me like 2.5 years to get to 6,000. Then it took me 3 months to get to 10,000. After I kind of like sat down. Yeah. So basically what you do once you've kind of sorted out your profile, right? Your profile is super clear. It tells people what you're doing, who you are. There's no like, instead of like having a quote, put down like, who are you, what do you do, how can they contact you? So simple, but so many people miss it. Then your feed needs to be, again, really clear what this is. People need to open your account and see, this is a fitness account. This is a dog mom account. This is about food. This is about dieting. This is about travel. This is, I mean, the options are endless. So I'm not saying you have to like marry a topic and like stick with it, but just make it very clear like what people can expect. Can they expect bright, pretty photos, or can they expect a lot of details, or is it people? Like, just make sure that you stay consistent. Consistency is kind of like the key. Then once you have your profile and your feed, we have our target audience, which is literally the people following those 5 accounts.
Okay.
And you can switch out those accounts if you only find small ones. Say if only these accounts have like 1,000 followers maybe, then you might want to have more. That's up to you depending on how big kind of you want your reach to be. As a general rule, I would say don't pick accounts with less than 3,000 followers to be on your hit list, because then you have like a bigger kind of, you have a bigger what's the word? You just have a bigger audience to pick from. Sorry.
Lisa, I have a question.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Marie.
Hi.
I just followed you. You're really cute. And I like your pictures. You mentioned consistency. And so I've heard different things around this consistency, where some people say you have to post a minimum of 3 times a day, or Pinterest, or not Pinterest, Instagram has, or Facebook people have shared that with Instagram, you need to be posting multiple times a day. Like, from a consistency space, do you find that it really matters? And then I have a second question, because I don't want to forget. Okay. All of your posts have very long, descriptions. Like, you have like a whole lot in your, you know what I mean? Like,
yes, the caption.
Caption. There we go.
Yeah.
Do you find that works? That's a better strategy for you?
Okay. So I'll start with the first question. For consistency, I used to say that it was important to stick to once a day for growing. And I will still say that, actually. I still think that when you're actively growing your account, I'd say post once a day. At the same time, the algorithm has been tricky for most people lately. And I've actually found, so for the past month and a half, since June, I think, it was actually another travel blogger who told me this at a conference in Czech Republic. She actually said that she had been trying posting less often to collect likes, if that makes sense, to kind of like allow people time to see the photo before she posts another one. And I've actually found now lately, in the past month and a half, 2 months, that posting, say, every second day has had the same results as posting every day.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I said, I used to say very strictly that when you're actively growing, like when you're starting out at like 1,000 or 4,000 followers, post once a day to kind of like keep yourself in your audience's kind of like mind. But I also like it's a little tricky because of the algorithm, because I've got posts from 3 days ago showing up in my feed now, you know, so I think every second day would be fine now as well. It's more about keeping that consistency in your feed, the look and the feel of it, and what the photos are, you know, like you won't be posting 3 photos in a row of a dog and then all of a sudden it's a lunch, a human lunch, you know. If it's a dog lunch, then I guess maybe.
So for me, my consistency would just like, so my site is the Curvy Fashionista, and so as long as it's just plus size fashion, like that, in regards to consistency, it's fine.
Yeah, and I would also say that, like I said earlier, like having one niche or one theme doesn't mean like you have to marry like one kind of photo and like stick to that. You can also post. So for you, I would say like you'll obviously be posting pictures of yourself wearing.
No, it's more like I repost. I have my personal one for that, but like new pieces that show, we repost people with our hashtag, so that way, you know, we're showcasing their style, like, and featuring them too. And so or if like we have a blog post and it has like a striking image or a video, like we upload that as well.
The Curvy Fashionista. Yeah, so it's more like making it clear. Like, I think it's very obvious here what people are following you for and what they're getting. You know? They can see like this is plus size fashion, you know. So it's not all of a sudden you posting a photo of you and your friends out singing karaoke.
Right. Okay.
You know, like that's fun, but it's gonna throw people off.
Okay.
And then your second question, as for captions, again, that's very different from account to account. I've actually asked my followers straight out, like, what do you prefer? And they were about 50-50, so it did not help me at all. Like half of them wanted to. So what I have learned, though, that is very helpful for engagement is, and which feels unnatural in the beginning, but it's actually posting your question first. So I would, for example, let's see if I
saw one of yours, like I saw that.
Yeah, so the first thing I put, usually you would put your question or your kind of like call to action at the end, but I've actually started doing it at the beginning, literally just because there's a lot of people who don't read it, who can't be bothered. The people who want to read it, they will. The people who don't want to, maybe it's good that they can just see the question. So in one of my photos, which is from like from Saint-Tropez, I've got the first sentence is what destination surprised you? And then I've got a paragraph about how Saint-Tropez really surprised me, and it wasn't how I thought it would be, you know. So, and then I noticed a lot of people are literally just answering the question. They probably haven't even read what I wrote, but they want to answer the question because everyone loves talking about themselves. So yeah, so that I say, like, try your way, like try both. See,
that's a good way for engagement.
Yes, it is. So that I found that that's a good middle way, because the people who want to read longer captions, like I said, my followers were 50-50. Those that want to read longer captions, they will read it. Those that don't, they'll see the question and hopefully engage with you. So I would put your call to action first, like a kind of like headline, and then go into detail if that feels natural. And again, ask your followers. Even if you have 1,000, even if you have 85,000, put up a story. What do you guys prefer?
Okay.
Okay?
Thanks.
All right. Yeah, no, you're welcome. So, I had just finished your target audience, right? And I was going to talk to you about what you're actually going to be doing with this target audience. So, when you have your 5 accounts, you have the followers of these 5 accounts. That's your target audience. Everything you're testing out on Instagram, every kind of growth strategy you're given, whether someone tells you to do follow and follow, I'm not telling you to do that. Whatever it is, use it on these people, right? Don't use it on anyone else. Don't find randoms. Don't go just only these people because they're already interested. What I do is I would go into, and this, like, it takes a little while, but eventually you make a routine. Go into the followers of these 5 accounts, pick one for a day, and then the next day you do another one. And then go through the whole follower, like not the whole because you won't have time, but go through, start at the top, go down. Visit the profile of each of them. Like 3 photos, always. Like the last 3 photos. Leave a comment on one of them or 2 of them if it catches your eye and you have something to say. Then just keep going. Do that for every single one. That way you are putting yourself in front of them. They will open their app. They'll see that you not only liked 1 photo, which is what most people do, you've liked 3. So they'll really see your name. They're very likely to check you out. And then if your profile is good and clear, your feed is pretty inconsistent, the chance of them following you is quite big because they're already interested in that kind of stuff. What I would do in the beginning, and this is like, it sounds a little impersonal and rigid, but it's not, because that's where like the commenting comes in, you know, like if you notice after a while that this is so, I don't enjoy this, these accounts are so boring to me, then maybe you should change your niche, maybe think about who your target audience is, because it's supposed to be fun. If you're enjoying kind of what you're doing, like I love doing this, like I'll sit and all of a sudden I get lost in a random account of this girl who only travels on weekends because she has a full-time job and she's a student and she's always traveling on a budget. I just love it, you know, because these are real people. They're not influencers who are trying to like grow and like, yeah, I love that. So I really enjoy it. What I did in the beginning with this was I took 5 minutes out of every hour to do it. Like every hour, I would just take 5 minutes to do this, as many as I could. And I did that for a few weeks just to try it. Eventually, I kind of like developed a routine, but that's more to get yourself to do it, you know, like I promised myself because the first time I did it, I sat through a commercial break on TV, and you know, those last forever. So I just sat there like liking and commenting on these people that I already knew wanted to follow accounts like mine. Like they're already interested in travel inspiration. So why wouldn't they want to see my account, you know?
Quick question. Did you follow those people first, or were you not even following them? You were just be active on their accounts?
Yes, I would just like and leave a comment. So there are some that do follow and follow. I think that's what it's called, the follow and follow. I don't do that, and I don't really recommend it. But that's not because it's bad, because it's not like you're not getting fake followers. But personally, it annoys me when people follow me and then unfollow. Like, so I wouldn't want to do that to someone else. And also, I have a very strict rule that Instagram is for inspiration. So I want to smile. I want to be happy every single time I open my Instagram account. So I won't just follow someone back because they're following me, because unless, of course, like I visit if someone leaves like lots of likes and stuff on my account, I'll check them out.
Sure.
And if they have a beautiful account and I'm like, oh, this is inspiring, like I love seeing this, then of course I'll follow them. But I would never follow someone back just because they're following me, and I would never want someone to do that, like expect someone to do that either.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I know that using follow and follow, you're more likely to get follow backs. Like it has a higher return in interest, or return of interest, I guess you could call it. But at the same time, people get annoyed, like because a lot of people can tell that you're not following them anymore, and then they might unfollow you. You might even get like nasty messages, like. It's a whole game out there, and it's not fun.
Yeah.
But like kind of, so yeah, take a commercial break. Like every time there's a break on the TV, do that. Like scroll through, pick out the followers, go in, like 3 photos or even more if you see that, oh, this is such a great profile. Leave a comment if you can, like if you see something worth commenting on, you know, like if it's just photos of someone's child, unless it's appropriate, maybe like I wouldn't have anything to say, like. But again, if you're a parent blogger, for example, then that's a super relevant thing to comment on. So if you can, leave a comment and create a routine around that. Do it every commercial break, do it every time you're on the toilet, like just whatever's when you're waiting for the eggs to boil in the morning. Just find little like time, because it doesn't have to be a lot, but you'll find that if you do that, next time you open your phone, your Instagram, you'll see, oh, 12 new followers. And they're real followers as well, because they actually they're real people that you found, and they're already following similar accounts to yours. They're already interested. So you're kind of just like going, hey, I'm here and I think you're going to like my account, without being salesy or rude, because you're giving them engagement. Okay. Any questions about that? No, we're good. Okay. So that was the fourth thing. Yeah, that was the 4th out of the 5 things that are important. The last kind of area that I think is important to focus on Instagram is hashtags. A lot of people are thinking that hashtags are dead. I disagree. I think hashtags are still important. They're still relevant. I think a lot of people fell off the wagon around the whole shadow ban scare. I don't know if you guys know about the shadow ban.
What was that?
The shadow ban is actually, it was a glitch on Instagram, and it was a year ago. Was it now? It's been maybe more. Basically, it was a glitch on Instagram that resulted in a lot of people's photos not showing up under hashtags. Mm-hmm. You know, when you use a hashtag on a photo, people can click the hashtag and see your photo there as well. So a lot of people were panicking, saying that this was Instagram's way of Instagram's way of punishing the accounts that are punishing the accounts that are using too many hashtags or being spammy. People panicked. A lot of people stopped using hashtags. A lot of people decided to change up their hashtags every day. So, and then it got the name shadow ban. So everyone was saying this is a way for Instagram to fight bots and spam, and a lot of normal people are also getting caught up in it. However, it was a glitch. Instagram released a statement, which people still, a lot of people don't know. They released a statement saying that we've had issues that has resulted in a lot of photos not being seen in hashtags. So I never
saw that statement. I actually especially in the Plus community, it's still a very hot topic right now.
In the travel community too.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see if I find it. I have a screenshot of the statement. I'll see if I can. I think I screenshotted it a while, all the way back when it came, because I've used it in my course to kind of show people that relax, they're calling it. And it was and also if you are shadow banned, if it ever happens to you, go on the hashtag, make sure that you can't see your photo, and then shake your phone. Shake your phone, that's how you report an issue to Instagram.
No. What? I thought that's how you undid typing
I have to go into
on
your
my
settings and turn it on, but it's shake to report. And then I'm just going, and then it allows you to add, it's screenshots. Sorry, I don't know if you can see, but it screenshots what you're doing, and then you can add a comment. So tell it, I can't see my photo under the hashtag.
Oh my God, that's insane.
A few days later, and you'll not be shadow banned anymore.
Marie, shake your damn phone.
I think it has to be a iPhone thing only. I'm team Android, so we don't have the shaking of the phone to report stuff. So that's news to me.
That's crazy, though.
It is crazy.
Settings, I swear.
I want to have it on mine too. You think settings?
Yes, I'm looking through my settings now just to see, because I had to turn it on. Let's see. Privacy and security help.
Plus, you'll feel better once you've shaken your phone.
Right.
Don't let go.
Percussive ratings.
That's bananas.
It is bananas. This is like the world we live in is insane.
I mean, it's totally.
I'm just checking for it, but I can't. Report a problem.
Can you imagine trying
Can't
to
go to your
explain
settings. Sorry?
I said, can you imagine trying to explain this to like an older parent or a grandparent? Like, just shake your phone and then it reports it to whoever. Like, it's a different world.
It's the best. You know, sometimes when things happen to me, like I almost smile because shaking my phone is like the best feeling. Like, and then it's like something's wrong. It's genius. You can also just go to your settings and report a problem, and then just let them know that you're not showing up in your hashtag or whatever hashtag it is.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Crazy. Okay, sure.
Yes. So, hashtags. Like I said, they're not dead. Keep using them. Use 30.
Use 30?
Yes, that's your max.
Okay.
So you can use a maximum of 30 hashtags for every single post.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that, like, so I'm sure you know, but every single hashtag is a new audience, a new potential audience to reach. So if you use 30 hashtags, that's 30 extra ways for people to find you. You know, so I think the only people who like don't have to use hashtags are like Kylie Jenner.
Right.
Right. Like she's okay. But anyone else, I would advise to use hashtags.
Do you use clever, funny ones, or are you actually using strategic ones?
Strategic.
Yeah.
So I have a hashtag library. From time to time, I will go through Instagram. I'll see what hashtags my 5 hit list accounts are using.
Mm.
And that's a great way to start building your hashtag library. I currently have 3 sets of hashtags. I call them hashtag sets, the 30 hashtags, you know. So just start by going through your hit list, your 5 people, see what hashtags they're using, add all the hashtags, like write them down, whether you use Notes or Word or whatever you have on Android.
Shade.
Sorry. Yeah, so like write down all your hashtags, all the hashtags they're using.
Yeah.
And then this is like my biggest Instagram tip. You're gonna layer your hashtag. No one does this. So, and no one knows about this. I love sharing this. So basically what that is going into each hashtag, check how many photos are under that hashtag. Because like you have some hashtags that have like 2 million photos under it. The chances of you actually being seen amongst those 2 million photos are very slim. Okay. And then there are hashtags with like 500 photos in them. Obviously you're going to be seen here, but how many people are actually using them if there's only 500 photos shared? So basically, and here you need to experiment about like with this. So start by like writing down a list of all the hashtags that these 5 accounts are using, or not like all, but like say maybe 50 hashtags that they're using.
Okay.
Go through each of the 50 hashtags on Instagram, check how many photos are shared under each of them. Write it down like next to them. So you have like an overview. Then sort them in like order of the lowest, like the smallest hashtag.
And the okay.
And then look at your following to kind of determine which hashtags you should be using, like which size. So for example, because the goal of hashtags is to get in the top 9, right? Like to be in the top photos. When you open a hashtag, there's the top, and then there's another, there's the top photos, and then there's the recent photos. Okay. And now what's happening with hashtags as well is that it's, they're in, what's the word? They're tabs. They're in tabs, I'm sorry. So it used to be that you could see the top and then you could scroll down to see the recent. But now they're actually tabs. So when I go on a hashtag, it automatically shows me the top. I don't know if you can see. See?
Yep. Yep.
But if I go on recent, oh no, now I clicked a photo, it shows me the recent. So now when you visit a hashtag, it won't even show you the most recent photos unless you physically click for them.
Okay.
So on my phone, it's the top 9 photos that can be seen. Of course, you can keep scrolling, and a lot of people will visit a hashtag and just scroll through the top photos. So even if you end up in like the top 20, that's still great because a lot of people are still going to see that photo. And going back to the hashtags, and now that we have the number of photos in the hashtag, there are certain sizes, like hashtag sizes, that they're just not possible to rank in. So anyone that are like over 1 million, like just delete them. Like there's no point. Again, Kylie Jenner can probably like be seen in those hashtags, but.
So you're saying if there's a hashtag, like I have a dog, and if you look up labs of Instagram, there are 5 million posts.
That's a lot.
That's what we're looking at though, right?
Yes, that's right.
So are you saying do not use that as one of my hashtags because it's way too many already?
Yes, I would say that. Unless, do you have like 150,000 followers?
I am happy to report I have under 1,000. I am just starting.
Then scrap it. Don't use it.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. But then Labs of Instagram spelled wrong has 5079 posts.
I love that.
But do I want followers who don't know how to spell? No.
Fair enough. Like that's someone asked me once, because my blog is Fjords and Beaches, and someone asked me once if I should have an explanation of what a fjord is. And I'm like, no, they're not in my target audience if they don't know what a fjord is.
Well, see, and that's a whole other conversation I should book you for, because I'm not really sure, like Labs of Canada has 2,139 posts.
That's better.
But I've never this is amazing because I've never even looked at that before. I'm so quick to just repeat the same ones I have, which are these 5 million things that won't be anywhere, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I'm really happy to hear that it's helping. So basically, if the hashtag is too big, you're never going to get in the top 9 until you have more followers.
Okay.
So maybe save them for later. And this is also the reason why I use this layering method, which is basically your hashtag set of 30. So you're going to pick 30 hashtags from the list you have, and you're going to add them in your hashtag set. They're obviously now sorted from the smallest to the biggest.
Yep.
That's how you're also going to post them on Instagram. And then after you post a photo, visit each hashtag, maybe 10 minutes after, and then maybe a few hours after, and then maybe the next day, just to see, are you ranking in the top 9? How long are you ranking for? And this is like, so it's kind of like studying kind of, it's research. If you enjoy research, you're going to love this. And then, so if you're ranking in the top 9 on all your hashtags that have less than 10,000 posts, that's amazing. But then every single hashtag that has more than 10,000, you're not ranking. Then you should go on Instagram and find more hashtags with 10,000 or less posts and only use those for a while.
And you use them for a while. That was my question. So you continue to use it for how long? Until you start ranking in bigger hashtags. Okay.
So I have a hashtag set of 30 hashtags. I think the smallest is, I want to say like 40,000 photos. I'm just picking a number. And the biggest is say 200,000, Okay. And then there's a range in there. They're all growing from 40,000 photos to 200,000, all 30, slowly growing. I check every time I post a photo. And if I notice that, I'm ranking in all the high ones, then I remove a couple of my lower, like my first hashtags. I just remove them. And then I find new ones to add to the end of the hashtag train. So your hashtags are growing with you. Does that make sense?
It totally does. And then do you just copy paste from somewhere else?
Again, iPhone tip. I'm sorry. If you can use the keyboard replacement in iPhone.
Yes.
So, and actually, let me see, where is that? So it's in general, keyboard, it's text replacement, right?
I'm there right now. Yep.
I have all my hashtags, all my sets added in there. So for example, I have a hashtag set called Norway hash. That's just like the shortcut. And I've pasted all my Norway related hashtags. So whenever I post anything from Norway, All I do is go in my comment, type Norway hash, and it replaces it with all my hashtags.
Oh, God bless you. Okay. I didn't know that it would work in an app, like in that. I thought it was only when you were texting. But
Right? Yeah, no, it works. It's genius. So I have a bunch of hashtag sets in there.
I think that's probably sometimes what sets me back is,
For me.
You gotta type in all the things.
Yeah, no, I think so too. That's so typical. So yeah, no, and then so you have your 30 hashtags. They're sorted in like rising order. And as your account grows, as you get more engagement, you'll notice that, oh, I'm actually starting to rank in the top 9 for my bigger hashtags.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's time to maybe start thinking of removing one of your smaller ones and adding a bigger one to the other end. So that way you're kind of like, yeah, your hashtag set's growing with you and you're gaining a bigger reach every time, you know? So in the beginning, you guys will have to kind of like try a little, depending on the size of your account. You may find that the accounts, your hit list, are all using like huge hashtags that you can't rank for yet. That's fine. Just like go into each of those hashtags, and then Instagram will have hashtag tips, you know, like it has suggestions. Look at those. Just like take some time, find smaller hashtags, create a set that's unique for you, and then go from there. Okay. And those are basically my 5 kind of like the 5 areas that are good to focus on Instagram for growth.
Do you use Insta Stories, Insta TV?
I use Instagram Stories daily.
Yep.
Love it. It's like that's where I can be real, you know, like with my followers. I love using stories, especially because I love a good curated feed. Like I want my feed to be pretty. My friends are like, why do you spend so much time like taking photos and you're up on your toes and you're wearing pretty dresses? I'm like, because I like those photos. That's what's pretty. That's what I want to see on Instagram. Right. But on my stories, I'm like, no makeup, just got up. Like that's fine. That's personal. I have uploaded a couple of videos to IGTV, but I haven't really gotten into it because I'm a writer, not a videographer. So I don't have a YouTube channel. But for those who have YouTube channels, if you have videos, put them on IGTV. That's my number one advice for Instagram growth is whatever they throw your way, just go with it.
Okay.
Always. If they launch IGTV, put something on IGTV. When they launched live, go live. When they add new story stickers, use them. You know, like, because they have an algorithm that like works out whether they're going to show people your posts or not. And I mean, it's really tricky. It's impossible to please the algorithm, but at least like we can please it a little bit by just doing what they want us to do. Obviously, they want us to use Instagram Music now that they've launched it. I don't know if it's not available in Norway yet, but the second I get Instagram Music, I'm going to be using it all the time in my stories because that's what Instagram wants. Any other questions?
I just tried to do the keyboard shortcut and it doesn't seem to be working. Am I doing it wrong? I went to text replacement.
Uh-huh.
And then do you add word? So the phrase I would say
is all your hashtags.
Oh, the phrase is where you put all your hashtags. Yeah.
And then the shortcut.
I just backwards, sorry.
For the shortcut, I have I call them just general hash, Norway hash, and then I have according to what clients, I just have half the name of the client and then hash at the end because that's not a word I would never use.
Okay.
I have, Norway hash. I had Wales hash because I was traveling Wales for over a month. So I thought I wanted a location specific. Yeah. So I just I've done that for a bunch of, I've loads. I've also, another tip, but that's not Instagram related. I've also added that my email as one of those things and then double the @ sign. So if I type the @ sign twice, it just autocorrects with my email. Genius, because you save so much time.
What is that? Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, of course. That's just it's not really related to Instagram. It's just I've added a shortcut for my email address.
Oh, smart.
Yeah, so every time I type double the @ sign, 2 ats in a row, because you never do that, it will fill in your email address. That's just saves a lot of time because typing that email address always takes a while.
That is great.
Okay.
This has been very helpful.
I'm really happy to hear that. Does anyone Some of you are a bit quiet. Do you have any questions at all? Everything okay? Okay, great.
I just want to say that Lisa's tactics really work. When I use them consistently, I see growth in my accounts.
Really?
Yeah, they do. Like, there's no joke. What I usually do, what I find most effective is when I post, I tend not to post unless I have time to do engagement. So then I'll post and then I'll do the engagement right away so that when I hit a recent, I have a good shot of those people still being on their phone. And they might still be on Instagram at that point, and they might engage back more quickly. So that's something that I have found to be super helpful, is I can post something, do my engagement, and then people are like all of a sudden piling on my posts. So it can be quite gratifying also. You get all your good, happy endorphins going. And what I find most helpful to make time is I'll just sit there with a cup of coffee and do that. So when I'm having my morning coffee, or having coffee to get me through the rest of the afternoon, that'll be my time where I'll sit there and do my engagement. So, and it can be really fun. I mean, there's a lot of negative in the world. So if you take time out of your day to tell other girls their shoes are cute and you like their hair, it can be a nice way to keep your day going and grow your accounts at the same time. So I think it's just a good way to put it.
It's such a good point. I mean, they talk about how to be successful in this and that it's all about engagement, when really it's what we should be doing in life anyway, you know, actually taking the time to talk and not just, it's pretty fundamental when you think about it.
Yeah, what I like about Lisa's methods is it really puts the social back into social media and having the time to connect with people and build relationships. And what I found is when you use consistent hashtags, you grow community around there. You get to know the people who are also using those hashtags. They get to know you. And, you know, I've made some friends. So it's kind of a cool way to go about things. It's like, it works from like a technical algorithmic perspective, but it also really works from a human perspective. And you end up, when you engage regularly, I mean, it's part of your routine, but also people see that as, this is somebody who consistently supports me.
Yeah.
This is somebody who consistently supports my content and is a nice person. And it's good PR for yourself, really, to put yourself out there as somebody who is a nice person. And it's kind of the difference between when you just broadcast on social, and this is what I tell all of my clients for any platform. When you just broadcast, you're the person at the cocktail party who only talks about themselves. And that's awkward. No one wants to talk to that person. They want to talk to the people who are introducing other people, who are engaging with what people are interested in. So that engagement is so important. You can't just throw something up and like hope it sticks, right? Like, gotta help it along a little bit. So
That's awesome.
That's
so
true. It's
yay,
definitely
Team Lisa.
okay. Yeah, no, I think it's very important. And like I said earlier as well, like I don't do follow unfollow, because Instagram has to equal inspiration for me. Otherwise it's not going to be fun, you know, like it has to be fun. If it's a battle, if it's a fight, like I have friends who are travel bloggers who are kind of like, they're just so over it because it's so exhausting to always, like, it's all about the numbers, and all the brands are asking, how many followers do you have? And it's almost like that's all that matters. And I don't ever want it to be like that. Like, it should be fun. You should find inspiration. You should enjoy it. You should have real connections, because you're building a community, not just a following, you know?
Yeah, my struggle, which those who I've seen on here before and we talk weekly, is just figuring out what my profile is, because I know that was your first point, because I am a dog mom, but I'm also a cook, so it is very much lifestyle. So I find that I even get confused with my own feed, because I don't, you know, there's dog stuff, there's cooking stuff, there is my lunch and my dog, so it's quite broad. And I don't know whether I need to narrow that, or if I just need to, I don't really know how to find other people who fit that bill.
Yeah, no, I understand. And I don't think, and this is why I kind of mentioned earlier as well, like, don't get stressed out about what I'm saying, because lifestyle is a fine, like, that's a great niche. Lots of people follow like want to follow that. It's more about, so I think what you should then focus on then, instead of like stressing over finding a theme, pick 5, not themes, because that would, I just used that word, but pick 5 topics kind of that you share. So if you look through your account, like going back now, in the past 30 photos, 50 photos, you would be sharing like, so photos of your dogs and tips about like dog tips.
Yep.
You cook. So it would be food and recipes.
Yep.
What else would you say like is a trend that you post from time to time?
You know what? It's, if I look at my feed right now, it's a lot of, I used to be in radios and TV, so it's a lot of entertainment-y stuff, but it's mainly dog, cooking, and snow, because it's snowing in Alberta. It's a little bit of lifestyle stuff, like stuff we use around the house that we like, or
that's fine. So I would say then, like for your profile, I would kind of like put lifestyle account, lifestyle creative. That's like a term that a lot of people are using.
Lifestyle creative, okay.
That's a great way to kind of like describe your account. And then I would make sure to include a line saying dog mom and chef, for example.
Okay.
You know, like, because then you're kind of describing it a little bit. Go through your feed, pick 5 topics that you're posting. Like, it doesn't have to be like that you've posted in the last 40 days, or just obviously like dog is one thing.
Yep.
Right? Like a photo of a dog.
Yep.
With maybe tips for like, or facts about your dog. Like, I don't know if you're doing like a personal influencer or if it's a company, but whether you're sharing tips or just like more like, here's what me and my dog did today. And the food, obviously recipes, like make it helpful.
Yep.
Then find 3 more things that you feel describe you and your personal brand.
Okay.
And then once you've found those 5, stick to them.
Okay.
Because that's going to make it more easy for you to attract your tribe, because they're going to open and they're going to see, oh, this is so cool. I have a dog. I love cooking. I'd love to get better at cooking. I can relate to this person.
Okay.
And they know what to expect. So they don't all of a sudden they get a photo. I don't know if you share like quotes, inspirational quotes.
I have, sure. Funny ones. That comedy is definitely a part of my role.
Right. So for example, if you didn't do that, you know, like if someone found your account and thought, oh, I can really relate to this person. I want to follow Megan because like this is what I deal with every day. And then all of a sudden you start sharing inspirational quotes. They're like, whoa, we didn't follow her for this.
Totally makes sense. Okay.
So make sure you pick 5 things. It can be quotes. It can be anything. It doesn't have to like all be the same. But then stay consistent around that so people know what they're following.
Okay.
Because I've unfollowed accounts because I made the mistake of assuming that, oh, this is a funny account. Like, this is a hilarious. You remember the movies where they held the blanket up for the dogs and then the dog went crazy because they couldn't. Yeah. I followed an account. I was like, oh, this is so funny. They must be sharing like these funny videos. It was a dog account. I don't have a dog. I have allergies. I can't
right.
I haven't grown up with a dog. So I unfollowed them as soon as I realized, because I was like, this doesn't inspire me on the daily. Again, Instagram's about inspiration. So yeah, so just make sure it's clear for people what they can expect on your account, whether that's different things or not. Just like stick to those 5 things.
Great.
Yeah, I do lifestyle too. And so I try to keep my most current photos to be pretty representative of generally what kind of content people can expect, so that if at any point they come to my account, they can see at first glance, these are the kinds of things. So like I share like travel photos because my family and I like to like staycation because we can't afford to travel very far. But sometimes on the weekends we'll go on Hotwire.
What's your name?
Allison Tedford is my name.
Okay, right. Okay, right. Yep.
And then, so I have that. I have like every other is like a black and white hand lettering quote. And I usually use those to microblog. And then I'll do like general photos of my family doing like sports things or going out to local events or what have you. So when people look, they can generally see that, you know, they might see a random hotel room, they might see us at the aquarium, and they might see how I feel about coffee, you know?
No, that makes that brings it into focus, because you're right. It's when you see really good accounts like this, it's okay. It's all making sense, as opposed to a random scrapbook, which tends to be my life anyway, but I think it needs more focus.
Exactly. No. again, like, make sure it doesn't stress you. Like, it's supposed to be fun. And then, yeah, there are so many ways to spin the lifestyle brand or theme. Just kind of like make it clear.
Right. Thank you.
You're
Right,
welcome.
like if someone saw me cooking, they would be like, "Are you a hostage?" Blink twice.
Yeah, it's like I have a
Help.
Yeah, that's my secret cry for call the cops. My boyfriend cooks, I don't cook. So if you see that, unless there's like an overall theme of wellness happening where this is my stir fry, which fits into something that we've already been talking about, it's not going to happen. So.
Okay, I think that's it from me.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you guys. This was lots of fun.
Thank you very, very, very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Lisa. You're the best.
Lisa, I will say, because you're a curvy fashionista and you're really cute and stuff, like I have a hashtag TCF style.
DCF style.
So please tag when you're like showing off your cute outfit.
All right.
Shameless plug for all of y'all curvy girls. I'm just saying.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Awesome.
So much.
Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. And Candace really wanted to be here. She just has no power today. So yeah, there was like tornadoes and stuff. No problem with her power. Bright, sunny day, gorgeous, no power. So she's like, "Hey, do you want to hang out with everyone?" I'm like, "Of course I do."
That's awesome. I don't think I've ever really met you, Allison, yet face to face.
No, I am the person behind the curtain for Julie, but
That's awesome.
I do exist. So,
That's awesome. Well, thank
and
you.
I am a curvy fashionista also, Marie. So
Yes, and I think I just emailed you today. I think that you're the Allison that I was emailing.
yes.
Oh, well then, hey, girl. Nice to finally meet you in real life.
Yay. Awesome. Everyone have a fabulous day. And maybe we'll be posting this in the group, and then maybe in the comments, share your account handle so that we can all kind of have a peek and engage and let us know what you loved about this. And I'm looking forward to hearing all of your feedback.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I'll report back in 1 month and tell you how my homework's coming.
Amazing.
Love that.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Take care.
Bye.